Okay, welcome to Introduction to Java Programming by White and Yang, 8th edition, Chapter 4 Loops, Problem number 2. Write a program that generates 10 random addition questions. Each question consists of 2 random integers, with each integer between 1 and 15. The user is prompted to answer all 10 questions before the program displays the user's score and the time taken to answer all the questions. Okay, so for this exercise, I'm not going to use scanner like we used to. I'm going to use JOption pane from the package javax.swing JOption pane. And after that, I start by declaring my variables. So the first thing is going to be string str and commented as string to gather user input. After that, I'm going to declare a question number, commented as question number. And here I'm gonna need correct question QST commented as number of correct questions. Now here each question consists of 2 random integers. So I'm gonna declare 2 integers, mb1 and mb2. Comment this as integer values generated by the program. Okay, so user answer provided by the user, and then int system answer, and this as answer computed by the system. Okay, should display the user's score and the time taken to answer all the questions. So for the time, I'm gonna declare it as a long type and call it timer. Time taken to answer all the questions. Okay, so first I'm gonna start by I need to initialize some variables with some default values. So initializing variables, and first I'm gonna need to initialize question number. So question number, set it to 1, since I'm gonna start with question number 1. Correct questions, set it to 0, NB1 and NB2 for later. User answer, system answer, timer. Okay, so timer, I'm gonna initialize it first, or I'm gonna need to declare another long variable called the timer1, set it equal to system dot current time in milliseconds. So I have timer1 as the total number of milliseconds from January of 1970 till now. and we'll see what we're gonna do with that time later on. So after initializing my variables, here I can proceed with my loop. I'm gonna use a while loop and set the condition as question number less than or equal to 10. So my first step in this loop is gonna be to generate two random integers. So generating two random integer values. Start by saying mb1 equal to, I'm gonna use math.random. Math.random returns a number of type double. I'm gonna need an int, so I'm gonna use what we know as explicit casting. So int here. After that, so random is a function that returns a number from 0.0 and 0.99, less than 1. So what I can do is add 1. Okay, now it randomly generates a number from 0 to 1, like that. And as an integer value, it's gonna be from 0 to 1. And so I'm gonna need a number from 1 to 15. And so I multiply the result of math.random by 15. Math.random times 15 generates a number from 0 to 14. And so after I add 1, that's when I get a number from 1 to 15. And do the same for NB2. I'm gonna just copy this, paste in here. Now I have two randomly generated integers. I can instantly compute the answer, so system answer equal NB1 plus NB2, like that. So I'm done with the first step. My second step is it's gonna be to prompt the user to provide the sum. Provide the sum. And so my string str equal j option pane dot show input dialog. Set the comparing component to null. Set my message as what is NB1 plus NB2 with question mark. After that, I'm gonna set my title to question number. From the question number, and enter here. And after that, the type of message j option pane dot information message, and make it end with a semicolon. So I have my message here, and so user answer. So set user answer, calling the class integer dot parse int. For what? For str. So what's provided in the dialog message of str is converted to an integer then assigned to user answer. Let me just print the value of user answer in the console. Reduce the number of questions to 3. Oh, and of course I should increment question number by 1 to make sure that the loop stops at some point. Okay, so let me run it from here before I move on. So this is my question. As you see, question 1, what is 2 plus 5? 7, 5. That's what I get. Every time I answer, the number is printed in the console. Okay, so let me move on. Let me leave this as my last step. So moving to the next question, put the condition back to 10 for 10 questions. Okay, after the user provides the answer in here, number 3, checking if the user has answered correctly. So I have an if user answer is equal to the system answer, that's where correct question is incremented by 1. I don't need to provide an else, because if this condition was false, then correct questions is left as it is. It's not incremented by 1. And so after that, so I'm done. I'm gonna set this to number 4. So number 4 is my last step. And so after I'm done computing the or deducing the time taken to answer all questions. And so in here, that's where I declare another long variable, timer2, set it equal to system dot current time milliseconds. And so my timer, my initial timer, I can set my initial timer to timer 2 minus timer 1. And so before I start my quiz, I have initialized timer 1, which is equal to the current time in milliseconds. And so after I finish my loop, I declare another time variable, which is more than that of timer 1, which also gets me the current time in milliseconds. That's when I subtract them both and get the total time I have taken for my quiz. So let me just print this timer. Just want to make sure, because timer is in milliseconds, I want to make sure that if I put it in seconds, a minute let's say, there's no problem. So 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so this is my timer, the value of my timer, and it's in milliseconds. So 14,000, so it's 14 seconds. So what I can do is I can put all this in parentheses and divide this by 1000. That's when I have my timer in seconds. So in here I can display the user's result. I'm also gonna use JOption pane. So JOption pane, show message dialog. First let me print component, okay. So no, my message. Okay. Your score, 2 dots. Correct questions. And the number of questions. Question number would be 10 by the end of this loop. And I should display the time taken, so escape character n, time taken, display. And let me add an escape t, type here. Also add one here to make it look better. Okay, and the time taken is gonna be timer, and in here seconds. Let me add a full stop here. Plus here, so it works. After that, my title, so final result, and one message type, also JOption pane dot information message. Am I done here? Yeah, so I'm done. Okay, can I run it real quick? 9%, yeah. I can do this example real quick before closing the video. Okay, so gonna run it here. What is 8 plus 2? So 10. Question number 2, 4, 15, 14, 29. I'm just gonna put random answers. So 17, 23, 3, 4, whatever. Okay, your score is 3 out of 10 and the time taken is 27 seconds. Okay, so like that, I would have written a program that generates 10 random addition questions, each question with an integer between 1 and 15, and displays the user score and the time taken to answer all the questions.